Hey folks, it's Ridgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here on Boulder Canyon. I am just starting up our baler, like that, and I'm going to set the hired help going. And that one is going to keep working backwards and forwards across the fields, I'm hoping. And we'll keep producing a whole load of bales. There is a tiny little bit that is left all the way over there. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe there was a bale in the way or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, I'm sure it will be absolutely fine. This might be more of a problem because, look, it's got a bale there. And now, of course, because we've got that big stone in the way. He shoved the bale out of the way. He's going to be all right. It was whether it was going to be all right with the next one. But he seems to be absolutely fine. So we will leave that one to carry on there. And we will jump down to here. And we will carry this one on. He's going to keep doing the oat harvest down through here. That one is absolutely fine as well. We're going to do 5 times around the outside edge of the field. Is what I said. But that's not... What? Am I moved? Oh, no, we did that to start with, didn't we? I accidentally had it on the wrong setting to start with. That's why I was very, very confused there for a minute. I know it's quite easy for me to get very, very confused, but I was extremely confused. And that should now keep going around. So what we want to do is we'll take this tractor here and we will run up into the field. I'm going to grab that bale over there just in case it does decide to start trying to cause us any problems. What I'm most curious about is how well this tractor is going to cope with the struggle of getting up that steep incline. I'm thinking that it's probably not going to make it. I'm thinking it's going to get part way there and it's going to slow all the way down. We're in kilometers an hour at the moment, so let's change that bit over. We will go there to miles. We can leave it on $-dos, but we need to change it to miles per hour. And yeah, that's really, really slow down. Surprisingly, though, it is still going. It's hovering 1 to 2 miles an hour. It's the wheels are actually slipping a bit, and right there, it's suddenly gotten a little bit steeper, but it's still going. It is still actually dragging it up this hill. I am genuinely amazed by this. Let's move that one out the way. There. That is genuinely impressive right there. It's made it up the hill. It's now pushing that bale. Even more impressive. It is actually pushing the bale. Okay, I'm genuinely impressed that it was able to do that. I honestly did not think that tractor had it in it to be able to drag it up the hill quite like that. Now I'm going to take you and I'm going to dump you there, and I'm going to go and get this bale right here because I suspect that that one may end up being in the way in a minute of the big stone. It's probably not going to be in the way on this. No, it's not. It's not in the way on this pass. Should be alright, although if the tractor does have to sort of turn a little bit earlier because of the big stone, then it may end up not being quite alright. So if I grab it now and move it out the way, then that one too should be alright. So we can do that. I'll bring this tractor over here. And the rest of the bales, we've already done the rest of them. We've already gone around and done all the others. So if I just sort of move along here, we'll do one pass up across the field and get all of the bales that we can here. And then once I've done that, we'll go back over to our tree harvester. We do need to keep an eye on the combine as well. We want that one to keep going. I don't want that one to be stopping anytime. And we get the tree harvester, we will start clearing a few of those trees. Because the sooner we can get all the trees done that we want to do down there, the sooner we can sell the tree harvester. And has been pointed out by a few other people, and rightly so, we're, I just said about selling the tree harvester. We've also got the trailer that we can sell, and I'm not sure about the truck. Like, I mean, yeah, we could, in theory, sell the truck because we only use that one for doing the timber, don't we? So we could sell the truck and the trailer, and we can also sell the stump grinder as well. So there's quite a few different tools that we can sell that we'll no longer be using if we've got the all the trees out of the way, because I really don't think that we're going to need any more of them. Now, I'm going to have to back you up there. Little tiny bit rough a tiny bit of a rough patch right there, isn't there? Just where that grass is left behind right there. So only a little tiny bit. It's not enough that I'm going to worry about coming back and like smoothing it off a little bit so that we can be sure that the mower will go through there. I don't think it's worth worrying about that much. It's just like a little bit, and it's a bit of a novelty. I don't know. Maybe when we're back on there and we're working again with our normal mowers, like we were gonna get bigger mowers. So possibly I was gonna get a butterfly mower and put that on the back, and then keep the one that we've got on the front. Either that, or we'll just have the two mowers that we've got. We have got a side-mounted mower plus the front one. If we have the two of them running along, we are still going to be able to clear the field a fair bit quicker than we can clear the field at the moment. I don't see any problem with doing it like that. Should be alright. Maybe it's something that we kind of need to wait and see. Like, you know, I'm sure that there will be... Oh, there's another bale over there. If I go and grab that bale... Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, it might just be that doing the... just with the two mowers that we've already got is actually going to get round the field fast enough and be able to do all of the mowing fast enough without causing us any problems. Okay, you've gone far enough. I'll take that one and I will drop it there. We'll allow a few more bales to accumulate in the field before I go doing any more than that. So you can just drop down. I'm going to move away from the bale just ever so slightly, just in case it decides to cause us any problems. And we are going to go to the tree harvest. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to go to... not you. Although we can just have a look at you and see how you're doing. You're doing fine. You are doing absolutely fine. You've got no worries in the world whatsoever, do you? You're doing absolutely perfectly fine. Look at that. Right. That one can keep going. Combine over here is now, we've done 3 times right the way around the edge of the field. So I'm going to let the combine keep going a few more times around the edge of the field. But what I am also going to do is I'm going to go chasing after it, and we're going to unload the grain that it has got at the moment. Just as we go down alongside the field here, along this nice long straight. And then I can bring that grain back up and I can empty it out again. And then we will go over and we will cut down a few more trees. There's not a lot of trees left to cut. And then we will have cut all the trees that we will possibly want to cut for quite some time. And the great advantage to doing that, the huge advantage to having all of those cut is obviously all of this money that we're going to get back. Right, that is a lot of money that is tied up in that tree harvester. And like the stump grinder and the truck. Still umming and eyeing a little bit about the truck. I'm thinking that, yes, probably the truck would be a good idea. It would be the more sensible option to go and get rid of the truck at the same time. Purely because of the money that's involved, like the money that's tied up in the truck. That's obviously really good, but what else are we going to want it for? Like, we use it at the moment for dragging timber over to the mill. I have not used it for anything else at all. Now, there is obviously the chance that we could want to use it for something else, especially once we get cows and we want to be selling milk, because we can't sell milk direct. We've got to take it to the sell point, so we've got to be able to move it. So it might actually be that we need to have a tanker. Now, in theory, a milk tanker should come up and collect the milk for us. So would we, in theory, want a milk tanker? Would we need one? And this is something else that I'm thinking about. Would I want the milk tanker or not? Would we be moving our milk to a collection point, or would the milk tanker be coming straight to us? Now, real life situation, milk tanker would come straight to us. I know that for a fact. That's just something that happens. Milk tanker comes to us, and then that's it. Now, I know that I've already looked at this a little bit, but I do want to just kind of see roughly where I want to make sure I take everything out. I was thinking of taking out that extra line of trees along there, wasn't I? Just a few extras along there, and then a patch of trees around here, out to that stone over to there. So pretty much a straight line across here over to the stone. almost a straight line from where I am. If I take those two small trees directly in front of me, and then I can start working my way straight towards that stone, a few of these small trees, that's easily going to cover everything that I need to cover. I don't like that there's two small trees in front of me and then there's one over here. I don't think I even need to get both of those. I think it's just this one here that I need to get, but I'm kind of thinking that maybe I should get all of these small trees over here. Now, of course, this is going to be the difficult bit, because these small trees are the ones that are most difficult to line up. They're always the most fiddly and difficult to line up. There, right. I've managed to line you up. So I'll bring you out round over that way and slice you and put the log right back through my own machine. No, I've managed to avoid doing that. I imagine that is a slight hazard of using one of these machines, is accidentally... I mean, yes, I would also imagine that anybody who's a competent operator on this is very well aware of the fact that putting a log through the front window of your cab is probably a little bit detrimental to your health. So therefore, they're not likely to go and do it, but it would be a risk. I mean, if you weren't paying proper attention to what you were doing, I would imagine that is one of the risks associated with this. I mean, are there any fail-safes sort of built in so that such a thing can't happen with one of these? Is anybody who's watching a series, do you know much about these tree harvesters? Because I don't, other than like watching the occasional YouTube video. I know very, very little about them. So, is there fail-safes built into these machines to stop someone from accidentally putting a log through the cab window? Is there something that you can do to prevent such a thing from happening? Or is it literally just, you know, be a sensible operator type approach? Obviously, you do want to be a sensible operator. With any machine, the thing with machines is that they've got the potential to really, really hurt a person. And a lot of people don't fully appreciate that. Like, I've always had the impression from teaching a number of different people to use various machines is not everybody really fully appreciates just how dangerous a machine can be and just how much potential it's got to hurt you. I mean, it's the same with just, like, you have a little car and people will generally just sneer at it for being a little tiny car. Even that has got the potential to really seriously hurt you. I mean, never mind high-speed crash, right? Ignore the high-speed crash sort of bit, because that sort of goes without saying, really. You know, that's going to hurt you. It's just the potential for a very small car driving slowly has still got the ability to really, really badly hurt someone. And it's something that is very often overlooked, I feel. And it's something that is generally disregarded quite a lot, surprisingly so, right? It's got such potential for actually doing very, very serious harm, and yet at the same time, it's kind of... It's one of those things that's never really spoken about. It's one of those things that is often laughed about and generally just disregarded. And it's weird. So you start training people to use a new machine, and the first thing I do is like try to point out just how dangerous it can potentially be and what needs to be done in order to handle a machine safely. And some of the things you say, like, I will always assume that everybody is completely clueless when it comes to a machine, and I will start from the basics. And you go over the fact that some machines, very small stuff, like let's take, for example, a small tractor. Most people would assume it's a small tractor, it's not much of an issue. Right? It's a really, really tiny tractor. What could possibly go wrong? It's still got the potential. It's a 35 horsepower engine. That is a lot of power. That is actually a surprising amount of power. It's certainly enough power to completely mutilate the human body. And so many people just disregard this, that they don't take it at all seriously. So then, if you've got a machine like this, you know, it's for cutting down trees, and you start to talk to an operator about, or a potential operator about, well, could it potentially stick a log through the front window of the cab? is this something that is a concern? Is it something that you're constantly looking out for? Is it something that there are the fail-safes built in to deal with? And, you know, if you're operating like a really small tractor, you start to talk about little things that could happen, or like an ATV, like just a small ATV, a small quad bike. A lot of people disregard a quad bike as being, especially if you're on a really small one, they think, oh, you get thrown off it. But what a lot of people don't think about is things like slowing it down quickly. If you slow it down with the gears and you slow it down quickly, you can potentially be sort of vaulted over the front handlebars, and then the bike will drive over you. Now, just the weight of the bike driving on you is probably not going to pose much of a threat. Especially not, well, it does depend on who you are. But it may not pose much of a threat. But if it's already going at a bit of speed and then wallops into you and goes straight over the top of you, you then suddenly you've got the potential for a very, very serious injury. And it's amazing how many people don't ever consider such a thing until they would be in that situation. And that's the bit that, yeah, that's the kind of thing that I've noticed quite a bit of when I've ever had to teach someone how to use different machinery and stuff like that, is just the seriousness of being able to use the machine and the potential that it's got there and how those potential injuries can turn up never occurs to a lot of people. There's a lot of people that use a lot of these different things that just don't sort of consider that that could be how something might happen. And it's always sort of seems quite remarkable to me that that's never actually looked at. It's never considered. And a lot of people, when being taught how to use things, are never shown these and never told these things. And so, yeah, machinery is a lot more dangerous than most people give credit for. And the bit that I find concerning at times is that machinery is a lot more dangerous than a lot of the people who are doing the training actually give credit for. They don't seem to realize just how dangerous the machine is that they're training someone else how to use, and don't highlight this fact in any way, shape or form. And that to me seems really bizarre, right? There's a lot of assumptions are made at different times. You know, if you're training someone how to use a machine, they assume that, well, the person will know that this could happen. You know, the person will know not to brake suddenly because you might go over the front handlebars on an ATV. Well, maybe they know not to brake suddenly, or not that. It's just that they assume that if they're braking suddenly, it's a conscious effort, so they brace themselves for it. But something that is rarely told to anybody that is being trained on how to correctly use an ATV is, what do you do if you change gear rapidly? You can use an ATV with the gears, and you can change down a gear, and you can slow yourself down a lot faster than you actually realize, and it will throw you forwards a lot faster than you actually realize. And if you've got one that doesn't have, if you've got an automatic clutch change on it, so that you don't have to, you know, there's two types. You've got one that you just change the clutch, and then you've got an automatic clutch. If you're using an automatic clutch on an ATV, so you just have to change the gear with a gear pedal, it's very, very possible to change gear, and then, why are you stopping like that? I mean, seriously, you didn't need to do that, did you? You really didn't. There was no need for that kind of behavior. I think I'm going to start this one now, doing the land work. It's going to work up and down the field, so I'm going to put you in there like that. You're away, and then I'm going to switch over like this, and we're going to change that one to that, and he will start working up and down the field, following the contour of the field a little bit as well. Should be fine. He should be absolutely fine doing that. Yeah, it's something that I've experienced personally is this sort of catapulting effect where you change gear and it slows you down, so you start to like get pushed forward by the bike, and then what you don't realize is that action of being pushed forward actually can cause you to, like, you try and hold on with something, and because your foot is already under the pedal for the gear change or like on the pedal for the gear change to change gear, your foot instinctively sort of grabs, and that changes gear again and forces the bike to slow down even more and faster than it's possible to slow it down with just the brakes. This is on an ATV, so a four-wheeled bike, a quad bike. And that can result in you going straight over the handlebars. I've never actually been over the handlebars, but I have experienced the whole slowing down thing. And it's surprisingly sharp just how fast it can slow you down. Never at any point when I was being trained on how to use... Well, then I wasn't really trained. It was more there's the bike, go and get used to it situation, like a lot of people do end up getting. But I've always remembered that because I was never really shown anything on it, and I only learnt through personal experience that could have potentially been a lot worse. But then for part of my job in quite a few different places, I've had to train other people on how to use machinery that is potentially dangerous. And when you start quizzing people on what potential dangers there are with operating machinery, nobody's got a clue. Like, literally not a clue. There's so many things that can go wrong with a machine that nobody gives any thought to or ever even considers. So I go all the way back now after my long, drawn-out ramble. When you're operating one of these machines here, how much of a concern is it to anybody that does use these machines, or anybody that knows about the machines? Like, how much of a concern is it about the whole tree through the front window? Is this sort of something that you're always being made to be conscious about? Is it something that is drilled in when you're being trained how to use it? Or does the machine have a whole number of safety features to stop that from happening? I'm very curious about this. How does operator safety sort of fare with one of these? I imagine that there are some things to try to stop it happening. But also, there's unknown reason. There are X amount of things that a company, a machine can do to try to stop any operators from coming to harm. But you've also got to take into account willful operator stupidity. Willful operator stupidity seems to be a lot more powerful than any other form of operator stupidity, because the operator just... It's one of those situations where the operator just seems absolutely determined to do something that is going to be really, really, really bad for themselves. I'm absolutely certain that many of you watching this video, who watch my series, who work in agriculture or work in any kind of industry, really, I'm absolutely certain that a lot of you have encountered willful operator stupidity. The ones where the operators just seem absolutely adamant that no harm can befall them no matter what they do, and so they appear to try to test this as thoroughly as they possibly can at all points just to prove a point. I've encountered this a number of times, and I have absolutely no doubt that many of you have encountered it as well. And I gotta say, from the point of view of someone who has done quite a bit of training, it's incredibly frustrating. It is horribly, horribly frustrating when dealing with people like that. Right? The willfully ignorant, the willfully stupid, the ones that set out with the intent to prove you wrong by trying to do the things you're telling them that could potentially kill them. There is nothing worse than trying to deal with people like that, and I'm absolutely certain that some of you have dealt with them. So yes, you know, a tree harvester, I've no doubt that somewhere along the lines there's people who've gotten into a tree harvester with the intention of being willfully stupid, but at the same time, I'm more interested in the operators who've had experience with these things who aren't willfully stupid. I'm interested in finding out, you know, what's it like operating one of these. I would imagine that you are conscious of the fact that, you know, of where the branch is going to fall when you're operating and where the tree is going to fall, and that is sort of part of learning how to use it, is always being aware of the direction that it's going to go, that kind of thing. How strong is the machine when it comes to felling the tree itself? Is it able to always direct the fall of the tree, or is that something else that you personally have to take into account, that, well, we got to grab the tree from this particular side, you've got to do it in this particular way? I'm curious. Anybody that's got any experience, feel free to write me an essay if you want to in the comment section. I very much like to read a bit more about it from personal first-hand experiences of operators of these types of machinery. I think it'd be very interesting to read. And I always do read the comments. I always read the comments on here and on Discord. I may not reply to the comments because I may be ridiculously busy. I'm always seeming to be ridiculously busy. But I do read the comments. I definitely read everything that is put up. Sometimes, if it's a long conversation on Discord, I will skim it and get the gist of it because I'm particularly behind. And some days, there is a lot of chat on Discord these days. We're getting more and more people on there, so it is, some days, it's a little bit more difficult for me to keep up with everything that's going on. But I'm still keeping up with it all. I am still keeping up with it all. Right, we'll drop that one there, and I got a little bit that I just want to take off the top. And then we'll go out to the road next, and we will just take care of those. There's only 3 out there, isn't there? I think there's only 3 out there. Get rid of that one there. And we've got our line that's cut all the way out to the road. I want to take that one. That tree there, the lone pine, I'm actually going to leave that one. I really want to cut it. I really do. Like, my OCD is kicking in a bit on that. I'm not severely OCD, but I do have it a bit. It's kicking. There's that one tree there, and it's bugging me that it's left there, all on its lonesome, and it needs to be dealt with. Like that tree needs to be dealt with, but I'm deliberately leaving it there next to the rock so that it's like, you know, there's a little bit of shade, and I'm not just clear felling every single tree in existence. I'm at least leaving 1 or 2 of them around. I get that one there. I think the tree across the road from where I am right now was one that I was looking at, and I've actually missed. Well, I was looking at and I was thinking I was going to have to cut it down, so I don't have to cut it down. That one's just gone right through the ground. That fell into the ground just then. That's why it went like that. A little bit crazy. It's alright. It's absolutely fine. It's got no problems whatsoever. Now, I'll bring you in like this, and like that. I'm not going to do too many more trees now. I've got a whole load of other stuff that I want to do anyway. We need to go back up and, well, I'll tell you what, I'll do a few more trees here now. The combine is at 76%. So if I go over here and I'll cut one more tree. I'll cut one more tree. I'll go over here, we'll cut this one tree here, and then we'll go and get our tractor and we'll run alongside the combine and we'll cut, we'll go and pick up some of that. And then we can come back over here and we can perhaps do a little bit more with this one. So I'm just going to shut that one off, and I'm going to go back into here so that we can use this just for having a little bit of a look around. So right now I've managed to... We haven't done... I want to do just a few extra along the bottom of the hill there, just to make absolutely certain that I've got all the room there that I want. I've done a line all the way out there up to that stone. I'm going to come in here, and I'm thinking I'll probably clear all of those. I'll leave that little tree there. You know, actually, we might leave a few of these trees around here. Just around the back of this stone here. Maybe leave that whole group of trees there. It means that we'll be able to cut them all down a bit faster. I do want to take those out. And I want to take these out over here. Take out this little patch. And then that patch there. But this little cluster right here, I think we could leave these. Take that one and that one out. There. That one over there and that one there. That one right there we'll leave behind. And that one we'll leave behind. And then these few here, including that little one there, they will be left behind, and potentially those two, but get rid of that one. and get rid of that one and leave these two. Something like that. So we've got like a little cluster of trees right here that we've left behind, and we can still work around them. There's a lot of trees here that I'll want to cut down anyway. And then there's a few extra along in a line along there that we want to take out. And then that's done. We're done then with all of the trees. We're finished with doing the trees. And then we can sell all of the tree equipment, which I think would be great. That's something that we do want to do. So you are almost done. 95% are you going to get? You are going to get up to the end of the row. That is fantastic, which means that I can take you. And I can run up to that combine right there and we can unload. And I think that's actually going to be about it for today's episode. So we'll unload this combine. Then, beginning of the next episode, we can get them running again. We've got the baler up there in the field, and that's doing a great job. So far, that baler is actually... It's getting across the field faster than I thought it would. Right, it is getting across there a fair bit faster than I thought it would. I don't want to do that. I want to go grass like that, and then I'll take it up here. We're cutting around the rock here at the moment, so there is a big area around that stone that is not being touched at the moment, and that is one bit that's going to slow it down. And then there's another little bit over this side, so we've got a few patches in the field. Honestly, I'm not that concerned about the patches that are being left behind. Considering the amount of land that we're covering on here, considering how this one is going, he's gone and stopped now. I'm kind of thinking that maybe we won't bother about going and picking up the extra bits of grass. I don't think we really need to worry about it too much. Like with the amount of grass that we're getting off of the field, and I don't think that we seem to be able to do the whole silage bales thing also without causing too much. Like it's not taking too long. So we might be able to do that without having to buy the silage fermenter. I mean, it does really depend on how much we can make for the cows. Because that's going to be the other thing, is handling the bales to be able to mix up for the cows, right? We want a total mixed feed blender machine thing. We want one of those put down so that we can mix stuff up for them, and then we've got the TMR there ready, and we can go and feed them. If we take too long doing that, then it's just going to get really, really dull to watch, and it's going to be really, really dull for me to do as well. I don't want to be spending absolutely ages constantly mixing food for the cattle. Because when we get all of the... Was it 300 cows, I think, in the pen? Might be a bit less. When we get all of them in there, that's going to take a long time to be filling up that pen, isn't it? Now, I'm just going to drive over these two bits so that they're... Why isn't that bit being driven over? Okay, I don't know what's special about that bit, but it didn't want me to do it. Anyway, I have run out of time for today's episode. So if you've enjoyed the episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.